Okay, so I'm at a supermarket and we're looking for real food, healthy food at a supermarket. Now, most of the food that you find in most conventional supermarkets is just very highly processed foods that cause inflammation in your gut, which elevates your inflammatory hormones, which then activate your fat programs and cause leptin and insulin resistance. Most processed grains and cereals will elevate your insulin levels too, and insulin's the fat-making hormone, and that puts your body into fat-making mode. Once again, it's not about calories in and calories out, it's about the hormonal effects of the food you eat. Also, conventionally farmed food is loaded with pesticides and toxins and herbicides and hormones, and all these things can cause a detrimental effect on your body when you're trying to lose weight. So where do you go? What do you get at a supermarket? So the first thing we're going to do at a supermarket is we are going to shop the perimeter of the supermarket, because that's typically where the refrigerated and the frozen sections are. And healthy foods that are not processed typically need to be either refrigerated or frozen. Now obviously in the frozen section you're going to find frozen pizzas and frozen sausage rolls and things like that, but I'm talking about real food is always going to be found in the refrigerated sections and in the frozen sections. So the first place we're going to be looking is the butcher. What am I looking for in the butcher? If it's meats, I'm looking for grass-fed, preferably organic, but grass-fed is really important. Grass-fed means that it's a healthier fat, for starters. There's a fat in grass-fed beef that's called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. Very good at reversing insulin resistance. It's also higher in omega-3s. And if it's organic and grass-fed, it means there's no hormones, there's no pesticides, there's no antibiotics. All of those things cause the cattle to gain weight, and they cause you to gain weight too. So that's the first thing I'm looking for. And in this particular butcher, they didn't have any organic or grass-fed meat. However, right across the walkway here, just 5 feet away, is another butcher that does have grass-fed beef. It's not certified organic, but it's just grass-fed. And it's not that expensive, so that's great. That's where I'm going to get my meat. I'm going to get my meat at a place that's maybe not certified organic, but it's all just grass-fed. When it comes to chicken, we want free-range chicken, if we can get it. When it comes to fish, we want wild-caught fish. So this particular butcher's got some wild-caught mahi-mahi. It's got some prawns that are wild-caught. I'm going to be looking for all wild-caught. Okay, so now I'm looking for cheeses, and here's the thing about cheese. If it's just conventional cheese, again, it's loaded with hormones and pesticides. If it's pasteurized, it can be inflammatory in your stomach, which elevates your pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are hormones that cause you to gain weight. So I'm looking for cheeses that are preferably, once again, organic and possibly raw if I can get them. If they're raw, not only are they not inflammatory in your stomach, but they've got healthy bacteria that actually does the exact opposite. It's very anti-inflammatory and improves your digestion and assimilation. Now, almost all cheeses are pasteurized, unless they're from Europe, in which case they're raw. And if they're all pasteurized, I'm going to be looking for things like goat's cheese. Goat's cheese is less inflammatory than cow's cheese. So there's some nice goat cheese here, and here's another one that looks really nice. Ceviche goat cheese with fresh dill, that looks delicious. There's another cheese section down there that has some of the more conventional cheeses, but I'm looking more in the gourmet cheeses because I'm looking for a European cheese, because European cheeses may not be pasteurized. They might not say raw, but they may not be pasteurized, in which case they are going to be healthier for you because they're going to have some healthy bacteria in there. So here's an aisle here that's got some healthy salt, and most people think that salt's bad for you. We've been led to believe that salt's bad, it elevates your blood pressure and all these kind of things, but that's just table salt, which actually is very toxic. But the reason why we crave salt is we crave trace minerals, and the trace minerals aren't in our food anymore, and it's very hard to get them, and we stay hungry all the time, and it causes also a lot of hormonal problems like insulin resistance when we're not getting enough magnesium and trace minerals. You can get trace minerals from healthy salts. I love healthy salts, and I put them in my water, I put them in my foods. So healthy salts are sea salts, Himalayan salt crystals, Celtic salt. They're all here. They're a little bit more expensive, obviously, than regular salts, but you're talking about spending $8 for salt that's going to last you for an entire year. So one place that you do not want to scrimp is with healthy salts, and you can usually find them somewhere in a gourmet section of your supermarket.